Happy version of me. You don't need to be the loudest person in the room to make a guy's heart race. In fact, version of me, often it's the quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need to be validated, that makes the biggest impression. Play version of me. Playful confidence isn't about trying too hard or acting like someone you're not. It's about knowing who you are, owning the energy, letting it flow through the way you move, speak, and interact. It's not aggressive and it's never desperate. It's subtle, powerful, and entirely natural. When a woman walks into a room with her shoulders relaxed, eyes scanning with calm curiosity rather than anxiety, and an easy, warm smile that says, "I like myself," that's magnetic. She doesn't have to chase attention. Attention finds her, and that kind of energy is what gives a guy butterflies. Version of me. He feels it before he even fully understands why. It's the vibe of someone who's comfortable in her own skin. Version of me. Someone who knows she doesn't need to impress anyone to be worthy of being admired. Now, what makes this playful and not just serious confidence is a lightness in how you carry yourself. It's the version of me. It's in the teasing tone when you call him out on something in a fun way. Version of me. It's in the little smirk when you disagree with him but don't feel the need to argue. It's in the way you can hold eye contact just long enough to create a spark, then glance away and laugh. Not because you're unsure, happy version of me, but because you're enjoying the tension. You're letting him feel that you're emotionally awake. Happy version of me, that you're not afraid of connection and that you're not just passively reacting. You're actively engaging. The version of me, the most attractive people aren't the ones who try to impress everyone. They're the ones who invite people into their world. Version of me without apology or pretense. So when you speak, you don't have to sound perfect. You just need to sound real. Share a thought, a playful story, or a quirky opinion with zero shame. That raw, relaxed truthfulness creates a sense of intimacy. Happy version of me. It makes a guy lean in and wonder, who is this girl? And that curiosity is the seed of butterflies. Confidence isn't a wall that keeps people out. It's a light that draws people in. The playful pull part adds emotional texture. It says you're not just strong, you're also fun, warm, unpredictable. It's the balance between power and softness, certainty and lightness. Be version of me. And the beauty of this kind of confidence is that it doesn't demand anything. It just is. A guy can't help but feel it. When he does, he starts to feel that familiar stirring in his chest, that nervous anticipation, that rush of possibility, version of me. And before he knows it, without any grand gestures or forced seduction, he feels those butterflies, and they came from something as simple and innocent as your presence. For me, there's something incredibly powerful about physical presence when it's used subtly and intentionally. You don't need grand, seductive moves to make a guy's heart skip a beat. In fact, it's often the smallest, most innocent gestures that send the strongest signals. A light touch on the arm when you laugh, brushing past him casually, standing just a little closer than necessary during a conversation. All of it's a quiet emotional tension that's far more exciting than anything overt. Version of me. When you use touch in a way that's playful and natural, it tells him you're comfortable with yourself. Happy version of me. And that comfort makes him feel comfortable too. And yet there's also an electric uncertainty. Version of me. That moment when your hand briefly touches his and then moves away. It's subtle, but it stays with him. It's nappy version of me. It's not about making him chase you physically. It's about creating a moment that lingers in his mind long after it's over. Version of me. It's that tiny spark that makes him replay the interaction, wondering if it meant something more. Proximity works the same way. Your twee version of me. When you're talking to him, leaning in just slightly, lowering your voice a little, not to be seductive, but to draw him into your space. It changes the energy. It creates a bubble around the two of you, even if you're surrounded by people. Version of me. Intimate, but not obvious. It's the feeling of this moment is just ours, even if it only lasts a few seconds. Happy version of me. And when it ends, he'll find himself wanting that feeling again. That's how butterflies work. Happy version of me, they come from a sense of unexpected connection. These little cues signal interest without pressure. You're not announcing anything. Yoppy version of me, you're simply letting your body language speak. You're letting your presence do the work. It's an innocent kind of invitation, one that leaves room for him to lean in, to meet you halfway. That's what creates chemistry. Version, not pushing or pulling, but gently opening the door to possibility. What makes this so effective is that it still leaves plenty of space for respect. There's nothing manipulative about it. You're not version of me. You're not pretending to be someone else, and you're not using touch or closeness to control his attention. Instead, happy version of me, you're simply being attuned. You're aware of how moments can be made more meaningful just by how you stand, how you move, and how you connect in physical space. Most people overlook how powerful these non-verbal messages are when they're version of me. But when they're used with confidence and warmth, they go straight past logic and hit emotion. A guy might not even be able to explain why he feels something stirring when you're near him. He just does. He feels that buzz in his chest, that slight uncertainty mixed with excitement, and he starts to feel something he hasn't felt in a long time. And all of it came from just being close-it, just enough to make him wonder, to feel alive, and to hope he gets to be close to you again. AP version of me. There's a unique kind of tension that happens when a woman shows she's interested, but not completely available. Not because she's playing hard to get, but because her life is full, her energy is grounded, and her curiosity is genuine. Version, and when a guy feels that you're engaging with him out of real interest, not boredom or neediness, it instantly shifts the dynamic. Version me, it's no longer about impressing or chasing. It becomes about discovery. Happy version of me. That's what makes his heart race. The sense that there's something unfolding, something not entirely in his grasp yet. Version of me. Asking full questions or listening closely to what he shares tells him that you're present. Happy version of me. You're not just nodding along or waiting for your turn to speak. You're actually tuned in. That kind of attention is rare, and rare things spark emotion. But here's the key: while you're being warm and attentive, version of me, you're not spilling your entire life story in one go. You're not giving away everything. And that slight air of mystery, that space you hold back for yourself, makes him lean in a little more. People often confuse interest with availability. Version of me. They think showing affection means constantly texting back instantly, clearing your schedule. Version of me. Or always being the one to suggest the next hangout. But real attraction isn't built on constantly present. Happy version of me. It's built on presence when you are there, and absence that makes him notice when you're not. My version of me. When a guy feels that your attention is a choice, not a default, he values it more. He realizes that when you're curious about him. Version of me. It's because something about him genuinely captured you, not because you're just trying to keep him around. That creates butterflies. Version of me. The feeling of being seen, but not completely sure where things stand. The excitement of a real connection. Happy version of me. But without the certainty that he's already won you. It's the emotional equivalent of a cliffhanger. He wants to know more, feel more, understand you better. He starts thinking about the next moment before the current one even ends. When you show that you're open and receptive, but also grounded and selective, you invite him into a dance. Version of me. He feels he's part of something mutual, not transactional, and that brings out the best in him. He doesn't feel pressured to perform. He feels inspired to show up as his real self, because what you're offering isn't just attention. It's emotional richness. Version of me. Something worth earning. Butterflies come from uncertainty wrapped in connection, from wondering if the other person feels it too. Happy version of me. And when you show up as someone who's interested, engaged, but not always within reach, you happy version of me. You become the kind of woman who stays in his thoughts long after the conversation ends. Not because you played a game, but because you knew the value of both presence and space. Happy version of me. That delicate balance is where emotional action quietly begins to bloom. Laughter has a way of sneaking past all the guards we build. It doesn't ask for permission. Version of me, it doesn't wait for approval. It just happens. And when a woman can make a guy laugh, or better yet, when she can laugh freely and warmly in his presence, something shifts. The space between them becomes softer, safer, more alive. That shared laughter becomes a memory, a moment that lingers longer than most words. It creates a feeling that isn't easy to shake. That feeling of me is where butterflies begin. It doesn't mean you need to be a comedian. Happy version of me, you don't have to be the funniest person in the room. Sometimes it's just the way you tell a story, the little sarcasm in your tone, the playful teasing that says, I'm enjoying this. It's the way you respond with a quick, witted remark when he says something ridiculous, version me, or how you roll your eyes in a way that makes him smile, not shrink. These small, playful moments build connection in a way that feels natural and effortless. They give him the experience of feeling good around you. Version of me. And when a man feels good around a woman, he starts to crave her presence. There's a deeper layer to this too. Hat version of me. When you can laugh, even at yourself, it shows a level of confidence that's hard to ignore. It says you're not fragile, you're not performing perfection. You're real. That kind of self-assurance is magnetic. It makes him want to lower his own walls, relax his shoulders, and stop trying so hard. The P version of me. That's when the best version of him starts to show up. The guy who's a little more vulnerable, a little more playful, a lippy version a little more curious, the version that feels, that hopes, that flutters. What makes laughter so powerful is that it's completely unforced. You can't fake it. Happy version of me. That's why when it happens genuinely between two people, it creates a bond that words often can't reach. Version of me. And in the early stages of attraction, that's everything. It builds a foundation of ease, of comfort, of joy. You stop being just a beautiful face or a nice conversation. You become an experience, one he wants to return to. It's also worth noticing what kind of laughter you're sharing. Is it light and silly, clever and teasing, or deep belly laugh kind of funny? Each type has its own flavor, but all of them pull him closer emotionally. Version of me. They break the seriousness of getting to know someone and replace it with something warmer and more human. Here, butterflies don't come from perfection. They come from the little cracks in the moment. Those shared smirks, the unplanned chuckles, happy version of me, the moments when everything else fades and it's just the two of you laughing like old friends. That's when something starts to shift. That's when he stops thinking and starts feeling. And that feeling, that buzz just under the surface, it's not just chemistry, it's emotional electricity. And it starts with something as simple and as powerful as laughter. There's something quietly disarming about someone who speaks with real emotion. In a world where so many conversations feel like performances, where people say what they're supposed to say or carefully craft every word to sound a certain way, genuine emotion cuts through the noise. Me, when a woman shares something honest, even in a small moment, it sticks. Version of me. It's not about revealing your deepest secrets on the first conversation. It's about letting a little glimpse of your heart show, a real opinion, a childhood memory, a subtle fear, a dream that still feels far away. That's what gives him butterflies, not because you're trying to impress him, but because you're letting him see something rare egg, the real you. When you speak like this, not filtered, not forced. It tells him you're not playing a role. Version of me. You're not using lines or strategies. You're connecting. And connection is what most people are starving for. Version of me, whether they admit it or not. You might say something simple like how a certain song reminds you of your mom, or how you used to get nervous before speaking in class. But in that moment, you're inviting him past the surface. You're not asking for his sympathy. You're inviting him to feel something. And when he does, something stirs. He doesn't just see you as attractive. He starts to feel pulled toward you. That emotional depth creates a magnetic tension. Soft, quiet, and unforgettable. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we have to be mysterious to keep someone interested. But mystery without emotion can feel cold. It can feel like a mask. Real emotional connection doesn't mean oversharing or dramatizing everything. It means choosing presence over perfection. It means being able to say, version of me, that made me feel a little awkward. Or, this reminds me of something really special, without editing yourself. Those moments are what makes someone feel something for you, not just about you. What makes this so innocent and powerful at the same time is that you're not demanding anything in return. Version of me. You're not manipulating him with emotion. You're simply letting him feel the warmth of your truth. And that opens a door. It allows him to meet you there. If he's ready, version of me. When that happens, when he senses that he can be real with you too, it creates a kind of emotional safety. That safety allows butterflies to land. He might not even know why he's thinking about you the next day. He just knows something about you felt different, deeper, more alive. And that difference came from a small, sincere moment, not a performance, not a tactic, just you showing up as you, unpolished and emotionally present. That's the kind of thing that sticks. Version of me, that's the kind of thing that lives in the spaces between words. And that's exactly where butterflies begin. There's something incredibly attractive about a woman who is deeply in love with her own life. Not in a way that shuts people out, but in a way that says, I have something meaningful going on, with or without you. That kind of energy doesn't chase validation, doesn't beg for attention. It quietly commands it. And for a guy, being around someone like that is both humbling and exciting because it shifts the dynamic from, do you like me, to do you fit into the world I've already built. That shift is subtle, version of me, but it's powerful. It creates curiosity, admiration, and yes, those butterflies that flutter in his chest without warning. Happy version of me. When a woman talks about something she's passionate about, her art, her work, a cause she cares about, her whole face lights up. Her body version of me, her body language changes. Her voice gets animated. In that moment, she's not trying to be attractive. She's just being alive. Happy version of me. And that energy is magnetic. It's raw and real. It shows that she doesn't need to be entertained, rescued, or completed. Version of me. She's already full. And from that fullness, she's inviting someone to share the ride, not fill a void. The truth is, happy version of me. Who guys don't fall for women who make them their whole world. They fall for women who already have a world worth stepping into. A version of me. A life that's rich, textured, and full of color. The more he sees that you're capable of joy on your own, more P version of me, the more he wants to be a part of that joy. Not because you need him to create it, but because he wants to be included in it. Version, that's where admiration grows. And when admiration mixes with connection, butterflies aren't far behind. Version of me. What makes this so innocent and powerful is that it removes the pressure. You're not performing. Nappy version of me. You're not trying to keep his interest with constant availability. You're just living with purpose, direction, and curiosity. Version of me. You're showing that your days are already meaningful and that anyone who enters your life is joining something already beautiful. Version of me. That changes how he sees you. You're not just someone to talk to. You're someone to respect. Someone who inspires him to step up. Happy version of me. Someone who quietly challenges him to be more. When you're grounded in your passions and independence, you also become more selective. Not in a cold or dismissive way, but in a way that says, not everyone gets access to my energy. That boundary creates mystery. Version of it builds emotional anticipation. He starts to feel lucky just to have a piece of your attention. That version of me. And that rare feeling, the feeling of earning someone who didn't need to be won over, is what gives him that restless, excited tension. Happy version of me, the kind that lives in his stomach and his chest, the kind that makes him smile without realizing it. Butterflies don't always come from romance. Sometimes they come from admiration, from watching someone live with fire and grace. When that woman looks his way, even for a moment, he doesn't just feel attraction, he feels honored. And that feeling, that's where the butterflies truly take flight.